Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are. Welcome back to Trackalicious. I am Ghoukasian, filling in for Mike Noss again today. But I have a special surprise for you all today. We are actually joined by the legend himself. You may have had a peek of him before just last week, but he is back for some more commentary action. The one and only Jaeger Kaaru. Jaeger, welcome.
Hello.
We are super excited to have you in the booth today with us to stream the final race of the GT3 Reverse Grid Championship. Are you excited, or as excited as I am, I should say?
Oh, I'm very excited to see what these drivers can do on this wonderful track that I know is very difficult to handle.
Yeah, it's pretty renowned, and you know what? Let's take that opportunity to go right on track, ladies and gentlemen. We are at the circuit of the Americas today, and it would be great if I actually transitioned into the right page and the right stream. And we got the even number cars out, or is that everybody out? Looks like everybody's out potentially, out on track, getting their laps in, trying to qualify as best as possible. Looks like we were just catching the tail end of Ali Raza finishing his first lap, pole position, which is usually his place, but usually amongst many qualifying drivers as opposed to just himself. Yeah, so Circuit of the Americas, really challenging track, specifically on ACC. Lots and lots of places to get track cuts and warnings.
Donk currently taking pole position with the advantage off of Raza.
Yeah, so Dink Donk, a new driver to Trackalicious, relatively new. I think joined us this season. Dink Donk, let's hop on board with him here. Again, Australian driver coming in. I think filling in some racing on his lunch breaks. Really rapid driver, as we can see. No slouch. I mean, if you could pull half a second on Ali Raza, the legend, I think the man with the most number of Trackalicious championships, Mr. Raza. Yeah, you're doing something right. And Dink Donk clearly doing something right with a 2-minute 6-second on the board and at a fast track nonetheless.
Yeah, and hopefully we can see a lot more out of these drivers. Hopefully someone may catch up to him. Raza might even just get some more times in there.
Yeah, Raza, definitely someone that you can expect to try and get as much as he can out of the car. Now, we talk about Dink Donk and Raza, but boy, this grid is looking absolutely rapid. Pablo Navarrete, Eduardo Layton, Jake Wells. I mean, these guys are absolute legends in the North American sim racing community. Super quick drivers. But yeah, Dink Donk still that big 206.2 that he's put on the board as the rest of these guys try to find as much time as they can. Now, the good thing about it, and maybe the bad thing about a Jaeger, is that there are quite a few corners in which they can either gain that time or lose that time.
20 corners to play with. A few straights here and there, though.
Yeah, and the straights are something that's actually pretty fun to be a part of. It does make for some pretty good racing. Now, one thing that's going to be a challenge in the commentary booth for us is there are no corner names. They're all numbers. So I think we're going to come up with our own names, like the tall corner T1 here, as it's on the top of the hill. Again, the legendary coda built with the idea to make as many epic corners as possible, a relatively new track design built for the idea to have as much racing as possible, taking on GT racing, Formula One racing, and much more. Just outside of Austin, Texas, track I've actually been to. It's crazy, really cool. Went go-karting there a couple of years ago for my friend's bachelor party, and that was quite the blast. Austin's a really interesting city, to say the least.
I've never gone, but I'm sure it's a beautiful place, just like this track that I can see so far. Being the first time ever watching it, though, can be quite the view, especially with all the turns.
Yeah, quite a few turns. Looking at my map here, looks like we have 20 turns in total. T1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in very quick succession, 7, 8, 9 in quick succession, 10, and then long streak to 11, long streak to 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, all back to back, 20 being the final corner, and a big straight between the final and the first corner. So yeah, really interesting kind of, I don't even know what shape this is, or if there's a shape that we could call it. So if anyone in chat can tell us if they see some of the ink blots of what the shape ends up being, let us know. I'd be curious to know what you liken it to, because I don't know if I can think of something.
I'd say an unfortunate hatchet that got hit a few times.
The hatchet that got hatcheted. Yeah, cut in half and re-welded together almost. I could see that. The handle being up top and the head being in the bottom there. Yeah, the hatcheted
Kind of hoping
hatchet.
for the best.
Yeah, yeah. One of those hatchets that kind of looks super cool on paper, and then you get it and it's absolutely useless. But this track is not useless. It is quite the fun track. Again, as we see a bunch of these guys trying to close up the gap between themselves and Dink Donk. Pablo Navarrete doing a good job bringing it to less than 2/10 between him and Dink Donk. Dink Donk, though, looking at his lap, has another 2/10 in hand. I mean, this is going to be a tough person to beat today. Dink Donk looks like he is on the top of his game, which is on the bottom for us because he's all the way down in Australia.
Well, currently the top 5 is all being within 6 to 7 tenths of each other. Is quite impressive, especially on this track.
Yeah, that is quite impressive. And as I'm looking out there, I do see something interesting. I'm curious as to why. Okay, so as I was looking for his name, exactly what happened. So I do think it's evens and odds, and it looks like Ricardo Rivera, another North American time zone legend, is here, just absolutely dunking a 206.000, 206 flat, saying, Dink Donk, I don't know what shenanigans you guys are up to in Australia, but we here in Puerto Rico are gonna show you how to go around this track.
And looking at the timetables here, there's still a chance of Rivera gaining more time, as Dink Donk still holds area 1 and 2 in highest speeds.
Yeah, you're right. Looking at how the sector times are broken up, Dink Donk does have that purple sector in sector 1. Ricardo looking like he's got it in sector 3. So quite an interesting difference between the cars. Now it could be car basis. Dink Donk slams another time, popping himself into P1, and that's probably going to be the final lap for him, as Ricardo Rivera has a couple more to go. Now Ricardo Rivera, no slouch, SRO driver. I don't know if he's going back into the season, but Puerto Rico Racing Club, E-Racing Club, I should say, choosing to fashion the Porsche around the Circuit of the Americas today. Now it's looking like an interesting battle between Dink Donk and Ricardo Rivera and the rest of the folk, and just super tight battling in qualifying nonetheless, let alone we haven't even gotten to the races yet. And boy, is it special, because one of the unique selling properties that we over here we're able to do at Trackalicious is we have auto grid capabilities. Now we can grid it up the right way around or the wrong way around, which is what we're going to do tonight, Jaeger.
Rivera taking again by 3 tenths ahead of Donk.
Ooh, Rivera. Huge lap by Ricardo Rivera. You know what? Why don't we hop on board with him and watch it from the first... Oh, that's not on board. That's more on board. Watch it from a first-person perspective. This is super cool. Ricardo, we've seen him around. He's been around Trackalicious for a while, and boy, is that guy quick. Puts in a lot of practice, is very focused, dedicated, knows how to squeeze out lap times from any car that he drives, and choosing to do the Porsche today.
And hopefully by these times, and seeing how close everyone is sticking together, hopefully it'll be a clean race throughout this track to see some nice little battles here and there.
Absolutely. And just noticing, Matt Enbach, welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for the follow. Hope you are doing well. Let us know. Are you an ACC driver, new to the game, old to the game, if you've done any of our Trackalicious races. And while we wait for that answer, we have a question for you, Jaeger. Does Kaaru have pea soup for this stream?
No, but I did have Mediterranean chicken earlier.
Ooh, Mediterranean chicken sounds pretty good. Those guys do a really good job of making some chicken. And Ricardo Rivera, no chicken on the track, absolutely squeezing every minuscule bit of grip that he possibly can out of this incredible sounding Porsche. As he's going towards the end of his lap now, nobody has a response to his 2:05.6. Still a fast track, so not like the track is gaining him the advantage as the qualifying is set to, I think, a Friday morning. Now Ricardo looking like he wasn't quite pleased with that lap and setting himself up for another one.
My guess, hoping to really just get as much as possible out of these little few laps.
Indeed. Hopping on board with some of the other drivers. We got Scott Sullivan here, Potts Weaver, all these guys. John Hawley, these rookies and rookie graduates, let's call them. John Hawley winning one of the drivers of the year, I think most improved driver of the year. Incredible performance by him. Not quite showing it today. I'm sure a little bit of lack of practice causing some issues. And we're hearing from Grub no in-game audio. Let me see if I can fix that as soon as I can. Thank you for that heads up. Jaeger, I'm going to ask you to fill in a little bit for me while I solve this technical issue.
All right. Not much will be capable of filling in.
How about if you
We
tell
were
us if you've driven with any of these drivers or not?
I've driven with against a few of them. Right. Well, a lot of times against Raza, never see him on the field though. I'm always just relaxing in the back. Uh, but a good amount of these drivers I've raced on the track with. Never gotten a chance to see him, most of them, but hopefully one day I'll be able to. Really, you just gotta put in that practice.
Looks
As
like
qualifying solely comes to an end with about to be 3 last drivers putting in their last few laps, and then we'll be getting into the quick outlap.
G Buzato Art, welcome. Thank you so much for the follow. Trying to fix some technical issues here as we're getting ready for the final couple of corners being finished by Jake Wells here, trying to get himself into a better position on track. Trying to get the in-game audio to come up here. This is extremely frustrating. We do hear it. We don't see it.
Ooh, timer running out just before the line for Jake Wells, as he was gaining on his time for a better lap.
All right, let's do this. I'm going to quickly go through the grid, and then once we do that, I'm going to get back to trying to resolve some of the issues that we have to try and get the in-game audio going.
While you do that, I will be right back with a quick return.
Sounds good. All right, ladies and gentlemen. In the final race of... you can't hear that. That is something really, really funky going on. I got one more idea of what I could do to capture this thing. We're going to try it. We're going to try it. All right, let's try this out. Oh, I think I got it. ladies and gentlemen. And of course, the sexy sax to get it started. We got in the final race of the season of our GT3, final week of the season of our GT3 championship, Ricardo Rivera taking pole position here at COTA. Next on the grid, we have a Dink Donk, the Australian driver, joining us in P2. Pablo Navarrete, the Argentinian, getting himself in P3, with Ali Raza, the Razzle Dazzle, in P4. Followed in P5, Eduardo Leighton, partner, teammate, another Argentinian on the grid, showing incredible pace in the Just Driving team. Jake Wells, friend of the channel and Ripline Racing, aka I Suck at This, probably streaming right now. So if you guys want to see a first-person view of the race, go ahead and check out I Suck at This on Twitch. Darren Thomas coming in at P7, joining us from the other side of the world as well. Emirates in P8 in the Emirates Stardust McLaren. Randy Gross looking at that Project 5 lovely livery. This is a full custom. Randy Gross actually manually putting all these panels together in an incredible feat of livery achievement. Barry Hargan in a P10, the British driver, a new name on the grid, followed by Okue Katagrama in P11. The joystick Jace controller king no longer wheel right on the grid in P12, followed by John Hawley in P14. We have Scott Sullivan, one of the most amazing participants in the rookie series, one of the cheerleaders of the group, of course, ensuring everybody is in a good mood, happy. A mod in the TRACKILICIOUS servers, followed by Potts Weaver in this unique colored Mercedes. Professor Kenotis in the last row of the grid, and finally Zuka Vinar in the Rider, of course, of all cars, closing up the end of the grid here as they roll out. Sounds like we have some in-game audio. Sounds like we have some music audio. Things are back on track. Of course, it wouldn't be an Eric Ghoukasian stream without technical difficulties.
It could happen to anyone these days.
Just, I seem to have a talent for it, Jaeger. Quite the talent for it.
I have a talent finding walls. You have a talent with OBS with sounds.
Jaeger Kaaru implying that he is quite the talent at crashing into virtual Bathurst ACC walls. But we continue to encourage him to try. Of course.
No matter how much it hurts in the end.
Well, it hurts you. It just cheers us up because it's hilarious. Tony Danzig in chat. Hey, Tony, how are you doing today? Hope everything is going well. 17 drivers on the grid in the final weekend of this GT3 championship. Now, I say the final weekend of the GT3 Reverse Grid Championship. Do you know why it's the final weekend of the GT3 Reverse Grid Championship? Yes? No? Maybe so. I'll take that as a no. The reason is because after this, we are starting our GT2 Reverse Grid Championship. Considering that we were aware that the GT2s were coming, we decided to split the season in half and bring the GT2s in play. I'm super excited about that one. I think it's going to be really, really fun. I actually still haven't had a chance to drive them yet. I've driven one from the pit stall to the pit line and just outside of the exit on Rebel Ring, but have yet to manage one lap, whether it was completed or crashed. I know those count too, Jaeger. Yeah, haven't managed to complete a lap yet.
Oh, they can be very rowdy cars, but once you get a handle of them, though, they are a dream, I can say.
What GT2 car have you been driving?
I've been handling myself with the Audi, more for its straight line, just pure speed. When you have just either zero or one wing, that thing will just rocket past most people on a straight.
And have you learned how to use the brakes and the steering wheel on it as well, or just the throttle pedal?
Well, brakes and steering kind of comes into play, but I mainly aim for those straights and hope for the best in the turns.
Okay. So keep your eyes open on the straights, close your eyes on the turn. Sounds like a recipe for success.
Well, it's an Audi. You can only hope for the best in turns.
Fair enough. Fair enough. This is going to be a long lap out. Looks like someone may have missed their start button. Just is that Jake Wells? Is that no, it's number
B
44.
Hargan.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Barry looks like, yeah, starting from the pits for some reason. Probably forgot to press start, which is really unfortunate as they get lined up at the start finish straight here, getting ready to go. Ricardo Rivera, Dink Donk, Navarrete, Raza, all roaring to get going at the start finish straight as they head their way up all the way to T1. And it's green, 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 grow. We are racing, ladies and gentlemen. Looks like Rivera got a really good start. Dink Donk as well. Navarrete getting a really fast start in that Ferrari, which is not known to have its starts. Little bit of contact here and there, but looks like all the drivers get through just fine. 44. Barry. This is a Barry? I think it was Barry. Yeah, Barry Hargan. Deciding to start from the pits, avoid any potential contacts. We do see a little bit of a situation back there. Well, a little bit of yellow flag, but that just could have been some ACC things. But Ricardo Rivera still managing to keep that P1 position despite the fact that ACC is telling us otherwise. It doesn't look like he's lost any positions. ACC, get your crap together. Come on, man.
Seems the yellow might have been Jace Wright slowly. May have gone off track a little bit because he seems to have fallen a little bit back on the grid.
Oh, and
As Vinar nearly takes him out on one of the turns, but Wright manages to avoid him.
oh, looks like Vinar has gotten himself into a situation. What happened there? Can we go back? Oh, that's a big send. But looks like everybody around him was able to avoid the situation. That is unfortunate for Vinar, but fortunate for everybody else. Headed back.
Was good driving to avoid.
Yeah, back into the action. These top drivers still bumper to bumper as you would expect in the first lap, navigating the complex multitude of corners here at COTA. Oh no, Darren Thomas. Darren coming in chat saying the force feedback on the Moza died on him on the outlap. Hopefully, Darren, you got a video of that to submit to Moza. So just a little bit of information. Darren Thomas had sent in a support request saying that he had issues with his force feedback, and and Moza decided to respond with, "Can you please send us a video showing that force feedback died?" Now, for those of you who don't know, you can't really take a video of force feedback.
A little difficult to manage that. Probably
Yeah.
why their whole plan, but now he might.
Got quite a few battles going out here on track. Nice tight grouping. See a little bit of separation to car 55, Randy Gross. Dipping behind Leighton. Now that's kind of to be expected. Leighton, super rapid driver, and everyone ahead of Leighton, super fast. But sounds like Jaeger has something in sight. Something's going on.
Jace Wright was going a little too fast against Randy Gross and ended up driving off track a little bit, but gave Gross back the position.
All right, good to see that respect on track. Here we go. We got a nice tight pack. Akue, hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. John Hawley, Potts Weaver, right behind each other. You know what? I kind of want to pop into Potts's helmet cam here and have the view of what is going on in the battle ahead as these guys go on the straight. Potts and the Mercedes, huge amount of straight line speed in that Mercedes, as we know, but the McLaren has been quite the OP car in most of the tracks, even with the update.
Ooh. Emirates missing his brake lines when fighting against Jake Wells, but no accidents so far.
We're going to keep on here with Potts challenging Holly, who's challenging Akue. Katagrama just ahead. All these guys trying to squeeze as much performance as they can out of their vehicles. trying to find the optimal line through the sequence of corners, T16, 17, and 18, like a triple apex, kind of like one of the corners out at the Nürburgring. And just missing the step pots and the exit onto the front straight, allowing the cars ahead of him to drive and gain a little bit of gap between him and the rest.
Right now, Raza and Navarrete very close together. Navarrete really chasing on to Raza, just slowly gaining and losing with every corner.
Darren, I have heard that there is a possibility that I think Moza has this thing where it does have a protection that when it feels like it's getting too hot, it turns it off. I think Ali Raza had a bit of a moment with his force feedback. He was in the SRA 9 hours of Kailami and he did a full stint without force feedback. The force feedback died on him. So it could be heat related, although you wouldn't expect the base to get hot just from a couple of zigzags of the steering wheel there.
Or it could be a new system there, where to try and protect the person driving in case if there's rapid kicks.
All possibilities, just suggestions, as clearly neither Jaeger nor I or Moza tech people. But sounds like you're getting a little bit more help from us than you are from them, and I hope that changes for you, Darren. Raza now building himself a little bit of a gap. Also carrying a 10-second penalty. Bad boy, Raza. What did you do? Sounds like he may have been subject to some incidents in the previous couple of races. John Hawley here. Looking at
Still a
Okue.
really close battle between these three, though.
Yeah, it's looking pretty hot. John Hawley really, really looking to push Okue into a mistake somewhere. But just not coming for him. McLaren on McLaren. So there could be setup differences. Some may have more wing and some less, but that vehicle performance is going to be the same for these two. Potts Weaver, though, in the Mercedes behind, may have a different strategy. Oh, a little bit of a wiggle there from Okue. Is that just enough to give Hawley a look? No. No, it's a difficult spot on the track to overtake as we're going through the T6, 7, 8 section, or as we'd like to call it, the squiggly wigglies.
Well, I would definitely say it's not somewhere to attempt to pass. It seems too risky of a play to even attempt.
Not with that attitude, Jaeger. Any place is a good place for a pass if you try hard enough. Don't quote me on that one because I'm just kidding. It's going to result in a lot of crashes. Well, Eric said, no, I'm joking.
It was validated, I swear.
People just sending it into each other. Oh, we have a car spun around on track.
Jace Wright.
Jace Wright.
Wonder if he might have gave it too much throttle on that turn.
Wheelin' dealin' Wright. Still struggling with his upgraded equipment. Or was it some rotational motivation from Randy Gross in the back? Nope. Gross doing a fantastic job avoiding him. Jace just choosing to launch himself off the sausage at the apex there, unfortunately.
I know the Merc can really eat those bumps and sausages, but there are some just too big to even try to handle.
Yeah, that was a lot. We got some more folks in chat. Blisket, welcome. Reaper, welcome. Hello. How are you
Cat
all doing?
Catagramma joining the fray in the close battle between Potts Weaver and Jace Hawley, while Gross has slowly kept his distance from all of them.
Oh, Weaver and Holly ahead of Okue. Something happened. Can we go back and look? What happened? How did they get past? Are we missing it? Did we miss it? No, there it is. There goes Holly. Takes the inside. Looks like a really nice pass done by Holly. Okue just missing the apex. And it looks like Potts gets a good run as well. Looks on the inside here in the final corner and gets that tucked in, forcing Okue a little bit wide. Now there's a huge amount of sausage curves on the
Whoa!
outside, but really, really good racing by these guys and dips right ahead.
Yeah, and you just missed it. Catagramma was then sent it a little bit too deep and ended up sliding sideways, losing a position to Chronotis.
Right as we finish up our replay here, unfortunately for Okue, it looks like he's just falling down the order one car at a time. Now Scott Sullivan looking pretty eager. Oh my goodness. Darren Thomas just getting from bad to worse. Unfortunately, I won't reconnect at all. I'm sorry, Darren. That sounds horrible.
A sad way to go. Can never be expected.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Hopefully you get it sorted out fairly soon. Well, intense battle there.
Oh!
Oh,
Chronotis back and losing it, taking out both him and Catagramma.
let's go back and look. I knew I shouldn't have switched over, but there is a battle going on between Dink Donk and Rivera. Another tight battle up ahead, but let's look at the replay with what happens with Chronotis. Chronotis going wide, trying to do a safe rejoin here. Does manage to get outside the track, but Okue on the outside now through the last sector of the track. Oh no! Subject to a bump on the inside. I mean, you can't, there's nothing there. So it's one of those things you gotta, I guess, go on top of and learn. Sure, Okue probably not appreciating the send into the alternate universe there. The dark dimension.
Raza and Navarrete is still just 2 tenths between each other.
Yeah. Oh, and there we go. Donk looking, having a look, trying to put some pressure on Rivera. Rivera, veins of ice, not responding at all, just maintaining his line.
Both
Saying,
being very careful drivers to this track.
Yep, I see you back there, and it doesn't make a difference at all. I still have my position, says Ricardo Rivera, as he maintains that P1 position with only 7 minutes and 50 seconds left in the race.
Jake Will is joining the fight between Navarrete and Raza, slowly creeping in.
Yeah, Raza seeming like he's the conductor of this train. Not something we usually have to say about Raza, but it looks like there's definitely a little bit of holding up the people behind. Or maybe they're just all super evenly paced. Oh, and we see Leighton with a drive-through. As we mentioned earlier,
Oh.
you only get 3 chances, my friend. And then on the 4th one, you get slapped with a DT.
And I believe this track is very unforgiving with just slightly going off.
Something you got to pay attention to. It's a part of the game. It's a part of the game, and you got to be careful on where you use your cuts. Now, getting 4 track cuts in 20 minutes is quite the accomplishment. Something you wouldn't expect Eduardo to be to do, considering the level of talent that he has. But hey, we all have our good days, we all have our bad days.
It can happen to anyone these days.
Indeed. Well, we're almost towards the end of the race here. Got a couple of battles still going on. Jace Wright, after his mounting of the sausage curb and launching, now a Mercedes to Mercedes battle. You know, I used to love going into Jace's in car view because you'd see this erratic and ridiculous feedback into his steering wheel or stuff into the steering wheel. And yeah, we don't have any of that anymore. Now we just see regular Jace with a regular steering inputs. Having a look at Scott
you can't
Sullivan.
have it all.
Oh, breaks deep. Is Scott gonna undercut that? Gain that position back? Thinks about it. Chase going wide. Here comes Scott. Yeah, there it is. Good move, Scott. Fantastic. A Cologne Rods, welcome. Rivera carrying the torch for Puerto Rico. Yes, indeed.
Oh, I didn't notice this, but Pottsweaver also has a drive-through. And he is putting it into gear now to drive through the pits and get it out of the way. And it would seem Darren Thomas slowly coming back on track, hoping he has his things fixed.
Oh, and we see a drive-through from Pottsweaver in there now. Look at that. Mason Perchalski, thank you. Thank you for the subscription. You are a legend. Dink Donk isn't winning by 50 seconds. Something is up. Yeah, that's because you got Ricardo Rivera on the grid, my friend. Ricardo Rivera ain't no slouch. Legend. The Puerto Rican racer. I was trying to find some alliteration, but nothing was coming.
Back to default.
Yeah, racer. Puerto Rican racer. No, Ricardo Rivera is ridiculously fast. So, but yeah, Dink Donk giving him the business, trying to get as much speed as possible. Now, Reaper, you've gone and done something a little naughty, and I'm going to call you out on it. It's not necessarily best practice to promote another championship on someone's stream. However, because I know the SFR guys and because Rocky is a good friend of Trackalicious, I'm going to let it slide. So for the sake of those guys, because I like them, I'm going to say SFR starting round 1 tomorrow. And because we don't have any championships on Fridays, if you guys are looking for something to run on Fridays, go ahead and do so. But Reaper, no, that's naughty.
Best to ask permission first sometimes.
Yes, it's my preferred way. I like to support everybody, specifically our North American community. Friend communities. We really do try our best to support them because I feel like we're all one team. We're all trying to grow together, so we do our best to support anyone and everyone that we can. But best ask first. And yeah, Mike Noss streams that championship, and I think he may not be able to tomorrow, or he might be. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, it is SFR Friends of Trackalicious. Go check them out. We do like to see more North American communities growing as Dink Donk giving the absolute business to Ricardo Rivera. Oh, it's gonna send it on the inside here. Ricardo gonna try to maximize the track here. Look at that. That is racing, ladies and gentlemen. Incredible move by Ricardo Rivera. Looks like Dink Donk did have the speed on the straight. As we know, the Porsche, not the best car on the straight. To and fro from these drivers. Inside, outside, inside, outside. Through complexes T12, 13, 14, 15. Now through 16, 17, and 18. The long sweeper in the final sector. Rivera coming out on top with a minute 23 going into the final. No, 2 more laps in the race. I was going to say the final lap of the race. No, it is the final lap of the race. Sorry. It is a 2-minute lap.
1 more to go.
Yep, last lap of the race. The penultimate lap, bringing incredible excitement to the grid. These guys, incredible. Unbelievable.
Rivera not just gonna lay it back and just give it away.
Absolutely not. That's not what they do in Puerto Rico. Bringing that Latino spice onto the grid and maintaining that P1 position.
I will say the acceleration on the Porsche does have it at his advantage currently on the Austin. The Austin having slightly more control and just gaining speed in the straights.
Yeah, the Australian Martin on the grid here is doing his very best. Again, Dink Donk, incredible driver. We've seen some great pace in the ANL esports car, but not quite enough to match what Ricardo Rivera has to offer.
Slowly falling behind as well.
Pablo Navarrete still trying to pressure Ali Raza. Interestingly, Jake Wells has dropped off the pack. There must have been an error from him somewhere. Oh yeah. Okay, there was the drive-through. I was like, why is Eduardo all the way down here? What happened?
Ooh. Raza and Navarrete really giving it all currently. I'm pretty sure they've been giving it all this entire time through most of this race.
Absolutely. Eduardo, not a slouch. Oh, I should say Pablo, not Eduardo. Pablo Navarrete, no slouch. Kind of popped into our rookie series a couple of seasons ago, and we're like, okay, buddy, let's not kid anybody here. You're no rookie.
Just gonna bump you up a little bit.
Ain't no rookie with pace like that.
And Rivera holding on to his first place the entire race.
Really good job by Ricardo. Really good job. Incredible racing by those two. Ali Raza coming in P3. Pablo Navarrete in P4. Jake Wells, P5. Emirates, P6. Randy Gross coming through the final couple corners. Trying to hold that P7 position. I love that livery. That thing looks awesome. Holly right behind, P8. And Jace right. Wheeling, dealing right. Coming in at P8. Leighton with a drive-through. P9. Scott Sullivan in P10. And the Good Smile Racing Mercedes. Chronotis. Little bit of bumping and banging from Chronotis. Finish line at P12. And Weaver. 13th. Akue 14th. Katagramma, if you're listening, or if anybody knows, let us know if we're pronouncing his name right. Hopefully we are. Barry back in the pits, and Darren Thomas still trying to figure out his steering wheel issues. Hopefully you get that fixed up, Darren.
I saw him on track earlier.
Ah, he's here.
He was doing a few laps in.
How do you pronounce your first name? Final race, Huff, welcome. It is the first race of the night, the final week of the season. So we are about to reverse the grid and have everybody come out. Is it Okue? Is that right? Huffmanic, legend from Box 3, and many other things to come, I'm sure. Kevin Huffman in chat. It's like, okay, is it like a what background is the name? Give me a direction of like culture that I can reference, that I can wrap my mind around. Oh my goodness. The legend himself, Jake Wells, in with a subscription. It's Brazilian. Oh, so it's Portuguese. Let's give the suck some shouting out. Is it okay? If it's Brazilian, if it's Japanese, maybe it's okay. Katagrama. Hmm. This is exciting. Really good in between entertainment to try and figure it out.
Best to learn early.
Yeah. Well, why don't we go back into the studio and while we figure it out. Or maybe is it okay? Okay, katagrama? Or maybe you could give us like sounds like this and we can get it a little bit more right. No way. Sir Clay in chat. Did you get Huff's gear? So I had a little bit of gear exchange potentially from these folk.
Ooh.
Nice. Nice.
New gear is always fun.
Yeah, not for Jace Wright though. Jace Wright's still struggling with his upgraded gear.
At least it's still pushing through. He hasn't fallen back to the controller, no matter how funny it would be.
Yeah, at this point, I don't think Jace is too far from making that decision. Jace, on a scale of 1 to 10, how close are you to going back to to being joystick Jace? 10 being very, very close. Let's see if we have the new grid up. It's tried already.
Green light. Go.
I think we're still in.
The first race setup, yeah.
Yep. Let me see if I could do this quickly enough. If we can, then maybe we'll do it. Alrighty. Yeah, it does. Jace, you just gotta like grind. Just grind it through. If you can do that well with a controller, I'm sure you're gonna be absolutely epic once you get your head around.
Oh, there we go.
All right. Folks, let's see if we can do this. Looks like we can. So what we're gonna do And we are back on stream. The minute and 30 seconds to go.
With news that this isn't the actual race, they might need to do another restart.
Oh, goodness.
There it is.
Well then. Let's go back into the studio. Well, Bigley, I think your cheer kind of did a little something there. I don't know what it did, but that was news to me. So, yeah, Stream Racer. That was I almost won again and not. This one Bigley comes in with the cheer, just sending everybody out. Since we were waiting for a little bit of a restart here, someone must have pressed some wrong buttons in chat, I think. Hope everybody enjoyed the race in between the races. And that, Clay, is Stream Racer. It's just a little fun thing that's available to everybody for free. So anybody could do it with their own communities. Just download it off of Steam and have some fun. It's kind of cool when you get 20, 30 people in there and have a blast. Speaking of 20, 30 people, thank you everybody who was in here. Got a hype train started. That is amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you for all the support. Speaking of support, thank you to all our patrons. I don't have the patron page because somebody, I'm not going to say who, was supposed to send it to me but hasn't yet. So we'll get our stream updated, though. I need to update my stream to the latest and greatest that Mr. Nos has. And yeah, get things going. Just double checking my my mic feeds here and make sure I got everything in order. Looks like everything is working again. As we take a minute to get back on the grid. How's everybody doing tonight? Hope we are all well. Hope we're all Jake Wells. A little bit of a dad joke there. Yep, guilty as charged.
Comes with the territory.
Yep. Alrighty. So we wait a couple minutes for the servers to connect back up. Oh goodness, Potts Jordan coming in here with his flu race, trying to do the best that he can with a bit of a fever. That sounds tough. I mean, sounds like we're up for another round of Stream Racer. I enjoy it. You guys want to do some more Stream Racer? Let's get into it. Pull it back up. It's good time killer. Come on. And what I'll do is I'll try to get your voice in there as well. Hold on. Patience. Let me get it up. Then I need to duplicate something here. Make sure that we can get you. Okay. Yeah. Let's see. I'm checking on the audio right now. John. Settings. Visual sounds. Oh, here we go. Okay, I just had it muted. I think you guys are able to hear it now, potentially. All right.
Oh,
Let's do this.
the server's back up.
It's probably gonna be a couple minutes until we actually get on the grid. So I'm going to start this.
5 minutes.
Yeah. So let's get this going again. Home play. Do a short race. All right. Can you guys? I don't think you can. All right. Exclamation point. Race. Get in there. While I try to figure out the audio situation. Can you guys hear it? I think you guys can hear it, right? Oh, okay, cool. Some hype music as we get folks in here. Razzle Dazzle Raza. Sir Clay coming in. Element Future, welcome. What do we have? Quite a few people. Reaper in here. Kaaru. Me. Jake Wells. Potts Weaver. John Holly. One Big League coming in. Ready to smack everybody out. Darren Thomas. Sans Force Feedback trying to win the race. Lethal Racing. Exclamation point race. Ladies and gentlemen, get in there. Washed Up Squid. What's up, TJ? Welcome, welcome. Jason here. 14 people. Come on, let's see if we can get 18. Got a couple more people in chat. Get in there. Exclamation point race. Huff, get back in there. I know you're still probably hanging around. I'm calling your name. Don't be muted. Exclamation point race. Squiddy. Wilson. Welcome. Xander Zone, welcome. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Looks like we have 14, 15 people on track as we get ready to get going here. And we have a mass start. Let's get ahead a little bit while I try to figure out to make sure that you guys can actually hear me. And it sounds like you can. Good. Washed Up Squid. TJ up ahead doing a couple of swiggles. A huge boost into the wall on the wrong side of the wall. Unfortunately, TJ. Element Future here. Clearing the way for everybody else or just causing a mess, making sure he blocks everybody coming through that pile. Jake Wells, I suck at this. Trying to manage his way through. Element Future and Jake Wells, these two quite familiar with each other. Sir Clay coming in at P3. We have our podium places, but we all know that in the middle of the race means absolutely nothing. It's how you finish it, and anything can happen in Stream Racer, and it usually does. I suck at this leading the way. Element Future. Exclamation point boost if you haven't already. Everybody gets stuck behind the boulders here. Element Future making his way through. Oh, the Trackalicious car just sneaking by. Little bit of a battle with I suck at this Element Future. Where'd you go? A huge jump into nowhere. Everybody jumping into nowhere. Looks like Element making his way back in, but does get the reset. And the Trackalicious car coming back. Oh, huge boost by Lethal Racing. A huge fly. Boost coming in. Xander Zone. Element Future still leading the way. Trackalicious stuck on the barrier there. The Razzle Dazzle coming in with a little bit of razzle and a little bit of dazzle. Element Future with a huge lead. Is he going to be able to get it all the way through? Is he going to give it up? LEG, huge boost. Not going to make it. Element Future for the win. Huge send. Who's going to get P2? Who's going to get P3? Razzle Dazzle getting reset. LEG coming through. Is he going to get blocked? Yes, he does. An opportunity for anybody else to make it through. Not quite. Razzle Dazzle coming through. Making it into the goal. No, not quite. No bonus points for you, sir. but Trackalicious for P3, and John Holly and Xander Zone coming in, finishing up the top. Oh no, Sir Clay making the top 5. Well, that was absolutely incredible. Great job by everybody. Hopefully you had a good race. Welcome Element sneaking in for a good win there. Awesome performance. Really exciting. Really exciting. All right. Let's get this thing killed here. Good job, everybody. And let's get back into the things, the real things, the fun things, the more fun things, the racing.
The big cars.
The big cars. All right, let's get back on grid. Get our stuff connected. All righty. Whoa. All right. Oh, this transition button is hugely delayed. So, you may know, you may not know. Today, it's reverse grid day. And what does that mean? That means everybody should be in reverse order, starting from.
Unfortunately, actually, there were words where the reverse grid had failed, so now they're just gonna simply race.
Oh, no. Well, let's call out the grid here. Let's see what's going on. Clearly having some technical difficulties in the background, but we'll call out the grid as it is. Potts Weaver in P1. Eduardo Layton in P2. Jace Wright in P3. Jake Wells coming in P4. Random order, seemingly. Pablo Navarrete in P5. Ricardo Rivera in the middle of the pack in P6. Should be in the back. Let's see if he drops himself. Okay, Katagrama. That's my best Japanese Brazilian sounding name, I guess I could do. Ali Raza in P8. In the stolen, I suck at this livery, and that's my fault. I'm sorry, Jake. I'll make it up to you one day, I promise. We have John Ollie in the base, what looks like the peanut butter livery, but I just don't have it in. It wasn't in the right folder. I downloaded the folder, John. You should have uploaded it there. I know Mike has everything in all the folders, but I don't. Professor Carnotus in the highlighter green-yellow Ferrari. Traditional Carnotus. Emmy Emirates in the Emirates Stardust McLaren. Dink Dog starting from the back. Laying down the gauntlet all the way from Australia. Randy Gross in the lovely Project 5 livery here. Darren Thomas still trying to figure out the situation with his wheel. Hopefully, Darren, it works. And Scott Sullivan closing out the grid with 15 drivers. Ali Raza carrying a 10-second penalty that he has to serve. And hey, you make a mistake, you cause an issue on track, you're gonna get slapped with those penalties.
I will say, with this track though, with the grid being so erratic, yeah, I guess you could say, seeing the faster drivers sitting slightly in the back is going to be interesting to see them all try to pass each other throughout this grid.
Yeah, I mean that's the super fun thing about the reverse grids. Oh, Darren, I'm sorry. That sucks. That's really frustrating. Yeah, I hope you get that fixed soon, Darren, or Mosa gets that fixed soon. Apologize that it's happening to you. Feel bad. But yeah, it's part of racing. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Well, welcome back for race 2, random grid order. Got Potts Weaver in the front, Leighton second, Wright, Wells, Navarrete, Catagrama, Rivera, Raza, Hawley, Emirates, Donk, Crenotis, Gross, and Sullivan all the way in the back. I'm excited. I think this is going to yield still a fun race. These guys all extremely competitive. Just not going to give it to anybody easy. They might be great drivers, Element, but not nearly as talented as Stream Race winner Element Future. If I remember correctly, some Dutch domination in the AI Pixel Grid race series.
I'm really hoping to see here in this wonderful track of how complicated it is, of how careful these faster drivers will be around this traffic.
That is a really, really good point. As we see Jace Wright just squiggling and wiggling, burning some tires up, trying to get the car ready for T1. As we go through the last couple corners.
Jake Wells also now in pit.
What? What happened? What is going on? I don't even know where to look because my data is just not lining up to what we're expecting to see. Try to do the helicam here. It's a bit zoomed in. Navarrete side by side with the Puerto Rican driver Ricardo Rivera winning the first race, expecting him to be all the way in the back. But with random grid order having technical issues, we're going to run that race. Ricardo getting a good start. Navarrete getting a good start. Oh, those are big sends. 3 wide into T1. 3 McLarens at that. Okay, Hawley and Ali Raza. No, there's a bit of a bump from Dink Dunk on Hawley. Hawley gets, there was an attempt to correct him maybe, but just gets sent absolutely into the wall. That's unlucky. Hawley, a true champ, getting right back on track.
A heartbreaking way to start this race.
Absolutely, but while broken, the large heart that John Hawley has is going to allow him to return with all the vigor that he has, all the might of John Hawley back on track, trying to catch up with the rest of the track. I think he's going to do a great job and already catching up to the track here. Now, our systems are showing some really, really funky things as well. So you're going to have to bear with us while I try to look over here and there and manage, trying to see where the people are as the names aren't matching in our TV support systems.
Rivera is slowly climbing up the grid. Oh! Assisted collision, I wonder?
Well, yeah, it's showing as Professor Crenotis in our timing charts, but looks like that's probably Pablo Navarrete who has dropped down. I don't know who that is. It's showing one thing, but showing Pablo in P5, but in the bottom corner, it's showing him P12, so, or P14, or 12. Looks like he's in P12, which makes sense. Unfortunate.
Well,
Yeah, something
everyone's
super weird is
pretty
going
close.
on with all the systems. Sorry there, Jaeger. Go ahead.
Oh, it's fine. But Donk slowly climbing back up the field, trying to catch up to, my guess, Rivera, his big competition tonight.
Yeah, with 20 minutes, it is truly going to be a battle between these two titans of motorsport. Rivera trying to get past Potts. I don't think Potts is going to put up too much of a challenge as Rivera looks on the inside. Now there's a switch back in this complex of corners. Rivera managing to get that move done very quickly.
I guess you could say he followed your advice from last race.
Any corner is a passing corner if you try hard enough.
Next target being Leighton in a Ferrari.
That's going to be a tough pass. Leighton. Excuse me, quite a bit more pace than Potts. Potts no slouch, but hey, we do have a big scale of grid. Jace really, really close to Raza. Now Raza trying to send it on the outside on Dink Donk. Just not quite having enough. Donk managing to maintain the position. I'm sure eager. Oh wait, that was an overtake for Donk, even though the timing charts haven't updated. There's something super funky going on. But from what I could tell, it's Leighton in 1, Rivera in 2, Weaver in 3, Donk in 4, Raza in 5. I think I got the top 5 there.
Yeah, I would say that is correct. Even my timing charts are way off. Oh, there we go. It's updating now.
There we go. As they cross the line, I think that's what it took to get it reset.
Going through the grid, everyone's seeming fairly close to each other.
Yeah, looking pretty good. Looks like something happened to Jake Wells. What happened?
Well, he did start in pits, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, you're right. You are right. Well, since that's the case, let's go back to still in replay mode as we do not quite have the ability to cancel our replay. Hey Jeff, welcome. This is indeed race 2.
Oh my goodness. Raza hitting his sausage into Potts Weaver. Potts Weaver going to the right. And Emirates going to the right.
Oh no, where is this? Oh, that's the same one. That's the same one Jace took. Oh no! No, Jace! That wasn't even your fault. No!
Unfortunate situation. With Jace having a drive-through right before that too.
No! Jace! My goodness. Yeah, Jeff, race 2, while it is supposed to be a reverse grid, unfortunately we had technical difficulties, so it is random grid order. And yeah, this is some shenanigans going. Ali Razzle Dazzle Raza taking the flight from T whatever corner that was. Trying to find where it is on track. I think it's T12. Yeah. Taking the flight from T12 to T13. Flight time of 3 seconds. So no in-flight entertainment available.
Currently, it would seem
Oh
Leighton is
no, Jace! Just smashing the wall. Oh no. That is just...
I think he had spun too while you were looking at your map earlier.
I don't know what you're talking about. No, nothing happened. There was no hitting of the wall.
Oh, currently Leighton proving a challenge for Rivera to catch up to as he holds his lead of over a second.
I didn't hit a wall. Did you hit a wall? No. There's no one hitting a wall. No walls were hit on pit entry.
What are these walls you speak of?
Yeah, there are no... This isn't Bathurst. There aren't even any walls around here. Dink Donk. Now in P3. 3 seconds behind Ricardo Rivera. Now, this is going to be really interesting to see. So we got 2.4 seconds between Rivera and Dink Donk. If Donk is able to close this gap, we'll know that he has pace over Ricardo. And Ricardo's just an incredible defender. We say this a lot. It's one thing to be able to put down hot laps. It's a completely different thing to be able to overtake. Okay, that's a different skill. It takes a lot of training, a lot of precision, a lot of experience to be able to be a good overtaker. I am self-admittedly a horrible overtaker, so I have to be extremely cautious when I do things around the community, because I just feel bad when I take people out because of my limited skill. But Donk, on the other hand, massive amounts of skill, massive amount of experience, going up against the legend Ricardo Rivera. You know, you put two legends in a bottle and you get liquid racing.
Going through the grid, it would seem currently the closest fight we have is between Jace Holly and Gross.
I wish I knew who was who. So John, who is in the blue and red McLaren, quickly catching up to Gross. So John was sent into the alternate universe earlier by Raza's unfortunate launch from the curb. And now John, having really good pace, has been catching up to Gross and gonna try to make a move fairly soon. Ooh, huge braking advantage. Gross getting stuck behind Kronos a little bit, but knowing better, chooses not to launch himself off of the curb at the inside of a T11, and unfortunately losing some time, but fortunately not causing an incident on track. John Holly, hats off to you. Good job. We're seeing that gap between Rivera and Leighton close down. It was 1.4 seconds before, down to 0.8 seconds. Donk only a 2.6 second delta behind. Closing it down a little bit, but not quite enough just yet.
Looking at it, looking back, it's fairly close to what would be a four-way battle between Gross, Cronotis, Sullivan, and Weaver.
Yeah, there is a nice little pack here. Weaver looks like is at the head of the pack potentially. So Sullivan, I think we saw Sullivan trying to make an overtake. Sullivan going wide a little bit there, giving Kronotis the opportunity to get a little bit closer. Ooh, looks on the inside, takes that turn a little bit tighter as we're in the squiggly wiggly section of Coda, and Chrono looks like he goes in a little bit too fast, having to correct and save the car. Fortunately for him, doesn't get the tank slapper and does not get sent out on track, or off track I should say. But Gross here now also having decent amount of pace. Really tight pack between Chrono, between Gross and Sullivan at the head of this snake.
Also, all of that, Navarrete making a play on Emirates for 5th, successfully passing him.
Let's go back and have a look at how that transpired. Oh no. Well, a lovely little pirouette from Emirates to get back, but really unfortunate for Pablo to have, is that Pablo? To have made that move, contacting Emirates. Unfortunately, Emirates probably carrying quite a bit of damage now.
On his front end, yeah, it would most likely affecting the top speed of that car quite a bit at this point.
That sucks. That's unfortunate, Emirates. Yeah, report it. We'll take care of it. Looked like a pretty clear-cut situation there, but we'll get a better view as we go in. Razzle dazzle.
Hold on. Chrono and Gross really close up together right now. As Gross attempting a pass on the straight, making the pass on Chrono. Chrono going deep. And Gross keeping that lead over Chronotis.
And joining the party is Drake Wells. Jake taking quite a bit of a different line. Looks on the inside. Switch back on Gross. Oh no. Give us the right cars. John Holly back for some action. Jake pushing Chrono to his limits. Chrono taking the defensive line. Really late braking by Jake Wells there. Chrono maximizing that exit though. But not only does Jake have the McLaren, but he also has the draft now. Oh, that's Chrono. Sees a whole bunch of Jake Wells in his rearview mirror. Jake sending it on the outside. Deep, deep, too deep. Way too deep. Holly now.
Really trying to find that room.
Yeah, Holly now sniffing for some action.
Really testing the waters to find that one sweet spot.
Jake Wells still applying a lot of pressure to Professor Chronotis. Jake having much, much more. Oh, John Holly looking on the inside, decides better of it. Ooh, that was looking like a pretty sweet move, John. But deciding better of it. Maybe a bit too late to send. I don't know. From that angle, it looked pretty good. But John trying to just drive smart. Trying to drive for the length of the race and not get taken out.
An accident at this point would not benefit anyone at this stage.
With only 4 minutes and 30 seconds to go, absolutely right. And it looks like, while they are battling down here, and we'll come right back to it, or maybe we'll stay on it. There we go.
Ooh.
Jake Wells looking again. Chrono not giving him an inch. Says, okay, sure. You're a world famous Twitch streamer. I suck at this. But I have position and I'm going to take it. Ooh, big move by Jake. Again, the battling here between these two, giving John Holly the opportunity to catch up again. Chrono saying...
Jumping between first and second, though. Rivera really catching up close now. Really making Leighton try and keep his lead running away.
Something must have happened because I looked literally 10 seconds ago, then there was still an 8/10 worth of gap, which is what they were at 5-6 minutes ago. So looks like Leighton may have made a mistake, but again, you know, catching up is one thing, overtaking is another. He's gonna need quite a bit of something or the other, quite a bit of magic, quite a bit of talent, quite a bit of speed, quite a bit of precision to make his way from P2 to P1. Gonna stick with these guys for a second. Ooh, I'm really tempted. I do want to go back down, see what's going on. Let's hop in really quick. Oh, looks like Jake did make the move work. John Holly now looking at Professor Chronotis. Chronotis trying to break that draft. John Holly saying, no, sir, I'm gonna keep it for as long as possible. Chrono taking the tight line. Holly maximizing the angle, carrying as much speed through as we go through the squiggly wiggly section of Coda. 2 minutes remaining, 2 laps left. John now super eager to get past Kurnotis here. Looks like doing a much better job of carrying the speed through the squiggly wiggly section.
These names are never going to get old.
Going through the tight hairpin of T11. Long straight. Is this going to be enough for John Hawley? Ooh. Going back. Only a couple of tenths between Rivera and Leighton here. Puerto Rico versus Argentina.
Okay, the leader is on the final lap now.
The final lap, we're going to stick with this race for the top step. Rivera super eager, trying to break as late as possible. Again, the battling between these two, allowing Dink Donk to catch up. Still a little under 2 seconds behind. But hey, the slightest bit of contact would give Dink Donk the opportunity to take that P1 position. So hopefully we don't see that, and we see some great battling between these two drivers, and maybe the third coming into play.
A three-way battle for the line would be something spectacular to see for this series' final race. But by the looks of it, Rivera might be trying for a play. Ooh. Really pushing Leighton to his absolute limits currently.
Indeed, Leighton trying to be a little bit more defensive. Looks like Rivera does have some overlap, but I think the Ferrari has straight line speed. However, in the braking zone, the Porsche is supreme, maintaining that inside line. Porsche late braking. Does he have enough overlap? Maybe he does. A little bit of a bump there. Leighton now gonna have the inside line. I'm sure he's gonna want to take it. There is a bump there. No, there's a spin for Leighton. Dink Donk coming in, challenging for that first place position. Rivera sticking in on the inside. Double right-hander here, or left-hander I should say, as they go through the long sweeper, long left-hander, the triple apex. Ricardo maintaining that P1 position. Was it fair? I don't know. Gonna leave that to the stewards. There was a little bit of a bump. It was a bit of a late send by one, maybe by the other. We'll have to look at the replays, but Ricardo Rivera coming back through final corner, making his way through and keeping Dink Donk at bay for yet another P1 position. Ali Raza right behind Leighton there, taking in that third and fourth position respectively. Goodness, that was quite the race. We do have another battle in here. Scott Sullivan trying to maintain a position as we go through the last couple of corners. Jake Wells. Ooh, that was close. Looking on the inside. Trying to bully Scott for that position. And manages to get it done. And there's another contact just behind. Between Gross and Hawley. No, what happened? Oh, Gross has a wiggle. No, don't do the simi game. I'm still watching. Don't quit on me. Hawley going in. No.
Oh.
No, that's unfortunate. Bit of contact there. Whoa. Well, we saw some things. We saw some good things. We saw some bad things. A lot of the things. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that race. Good racing for the most part.
Throughout, some pretty clean racing.
Yeah. Overall, pretty good. Underall, some things happened. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That was the last race of our GT3 reverse grid season. But don't shed tears. Don't be sad. We're not going away. We're just coming back with more reverse grid stuff, but in the GT2s. So we're pretty excited. Think it's going to be another fun championship. The GT2s with incredible straight line speed. Jaeger, how do you feel those races went?
The first race went very cleanly. Some very nice battles throughout everyone. Some good avoiding, really. So from avoiding crashes throughout. Race 2 a little bit more dangerous, you could say. That's just from the grid of faster drivers trying to move up. But yeah, overall, some pretty good entertainment.
They were scrappy. It was pretty, let's call it pretty scrappy.
Yeah.
Some scrappy racing. But yeah, overall, pretty fun. I thought everybody did generally a pretty good job. Yeah, but we will be back. We'll be back for more racing. We'll be back next week. I believe we start right back up. We're gonna have, yeah, a bunch of GT2 racing. I think it's gonna be fun. So, that being said, let's try to find some drivers out there. See who we can rate. See who we got out there. Let's go. Someone who is at Bathurst. All right, let's rate this person. Looks like doesn't have anyone watching him, so I think it's gonna be fun. There we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're rating Hershey Slayer 96. Go out, show some love, spam with some Trackalicious teas in chat. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Hope everybody had fun. Hope the drivers had a good time. I apologize about the technical difficulties. Hopefully they're relatively small this week. We'll get better. Every week we aim to get a little bit better. Yeah, hope everyone has a great day, night, morning, wherever you are. Thank you for watching. I'm Eric Ghoukasian, joined by Jaeger Kaaru, I should say, for the last race of the season for the GT3 Reverse Grid Championship, and I'm going to be back with the GT2 Reverse Grid Championship soon. And for now, goodbye. Go show some love to Hershey Slayer 96. Take care. See ya.